What's up everybody, welcome to my channel where we don't do and think like the average person out there. So I'm going to be sharing with you two videos that I came across on TikTok. The first one is the person is 32 and she said she was working from she was 16 and has nothing to show for it. And the other one who was broke at 25 and became a millionaire by the age of 30. So let's hear what the person has to say in video one.
I don't understand how people overcome poverty in America. I really don't. I've been working since I was 16 years old. Helped pay my parents' mortgage when I was still in high school. I'm 32 years old now. I don't even have a mortgage.
Hold on. You realize from my other video where I talked about how money flows this direction, and if you observe a poor person or a middle class family, there's one thing they also have in common. Money flows in this direction. Two ways. This means that they have to be taking care of their older generation, that is probably their parents or families or relatives, and then they have to be taking care of the future generation, their kids to come. And guess what? This might be keeping a lot of people broke just because they are not aware of what's taking place. So here we go with a prime example. She's just 16 and she's working and paying her parents' mortgage. Don't you see where something is wrong with that? So this keeps a lot of individuals back, and this is something that needs to be broken from generation to generation. I guess it can be called a generational curse that needs to be broken. So let's hear the rest of what she has to say.
I don't have kids. I don't have anything to show for all this time that I've paid into this system. I went to college. I have a bachelor's degree. My parents never graduated college. My parents didn't even graduate high school. I'm working on my second bachelor's degree, hoping that this one sticks. I was paying for nursing school, half loan, half out of pocket. And COVID hit. And now I'm looking at my last quarter of nursing school and I'm realizing I'm not going to be able to graduate. I'm literally out of money. And not because I failed classes or I did something wrong. I did everything right. It's just because I'm poor. I was born poor. I'm still poor. They want me to die poor.
I really do feel it for her, because from observation, I realize that it is very easy to work for 15, 20, and 30 years without having anything to show for it. But guess what is happening? A lot of people who were in her situation got out even though they were poor and has nothing at all to start life with. They got out of their situation. So if she's going to stay there and continue to blame because she was born poor, chances are she won't make any progress. And then if she have kids, then chances are her kids are going to come and inherit the same things that she went through. So her possible solution was to do another degree to get her out of her situation. Now she's in a situation she might not be able to finish school because guess what? She used up the money or savings she probably had to fund school, and now she in a position where she probably can't graduate. Now if you're really struggling, you already have a degree, so do you think doing a degree would be the best choice for her? Let me know in the comment section below. Now let's hear what the person has to say in video 2.
Okay, so I came from a family that didn't have a lot of money. And so usually in these families, it's like, the way to get out of this cycle of never having enough money is to go to school, get a university degree, get that corporate job. So that's what I did. I was like, I want to be successful. I'm going to go get that 9 to 5 and then I'll have all the money. Then I will have made it. Except I did that. I got the corporate job. I was $40,000 in debt from school, making more money than I ever had in my life. And I was still broke. I was still living paycheck to paycheck. I still had $0 in savings. And I'm watching as everyone else gets all the shit that I wanted in life that I thought that I would get when I followed this path. Having their wedding and buying a house and feeling financially stable enough for kids. And what I learned is that traditional advice doesn't work. If I kept following that path and I didn't learn how to use money as a tool, and I kept trying to budget my way out of shit, I would not be where I am right now, which is a freaking millionaire at 30 years old.
Now she also had the traditional way of success, going to school and get a good job, and then she will have all the nice. Then she realized it wasn't like that. Things don't work like that in this day and age. Back in the past, one may could have saved and buy and acquire a lot of things, but the rate at which things are skyrocketing now, it's almost impossible. So here we pretty much have two persons who went through the same process, and they are both living in the land of the free and the brave, but two different outcomes at approximately the same age. So what could be the big contributing factor in this? Now for Nicole, which I personally follow on TikTok, she is financially literate and she used her financial literacy to her advantage. While in video one, the person still might have the belief that going to school, getting a college education is the way to succeed in life. But there's a high probability that if you're not investing your money, you will not have anything to show for it no matter how old you are. Because there's always things to take your money in the form of spending. These two persons are really two prime examples as to why traditional advice don't work anymore. Back in the days, you used to have high interest and savings account. Now, the average interest rate here in Jamaica is 0.4% on a regular savings account. And on top of that, you have inflation that is beating everybody bad. So if inflation is 6%, it's like you're losing 6% of your money. No, it's not. It's like you're losing 6% of your money each and every year. And why a lot of people is not really taking this serious is because when you invest, right, and let's say you see a 10% decline on $100,000, you will see $10,000 in a negative. But when you have $100,000 in savings, and for example, inflation is 10%, you won't see that 10% in the minus, but it is happening and you have to protect yourself against it. And again, these two persons indirectly emphasize why financial literacy is important, because if the person in video one was saving and investing at least $100 per month at the average market returns of 10% for the last 16 years, she would have approximately $43,000 in savings. And guess what? There's a high probability she doesn't have that amount in savings. And one might say just $100 per month is a little bit, but guess what? If you don't do it, you're going to end up in a position just like her. 16 years down the line, you worked and have nothing to show for it. And bear in mind, her total contribution would have been approximately $19,300 for the 16 years. And there are multiple studies out there to show that the average American cannot afford a $1,000 emergency. And it is very simple to achieve this, but I don't know why people don't do it. Then again, financial literacy and keeping up with the Joneses and keeping up with society's definition of success. That is nice car and mortgage. As you hear, she said she don't even have a mortgage. I mean, nothing is wrong with a mortgage, and I believe that is the only type of loan one should actually have, because a house will always appreciate, and if you're wise and have enough sense, you can always rent out your home in the event that hardship come up on you. But based on how she said it, it seemed like mortgage would have been an accomplishment. So in video 2 now, the person realized that the traditional advice wouldn't work for her. So guess what? She went out and seek financial literacy and educated herself and used leverage to her advantage. Now everybody have the same 24 hours, and how you use it is really important. So you might do the same thing as the person in video 2 did, but you might not reach $1 million. You might reach a half. You might not even reach here. You might even reach $100,000. As well as you can reach multiple $1 million. But guess what? If you're not doing it, there's a high probability you're going to have nothing to show. So the person in video 1 was financially literate, saved and invested some of her money. She didn't even have to take on debt to be in a better position. All she needed to do was just to save and invest a portion of her income. And as simple as it is to do, majority of the working population is not doing this. They are still stuck on the old traditional advice. So at the end of the day, who are you going to be? The person in video 1 who blames their situation for being poor, or the person in video 2 who understands the situation she was in, realized and took action and got out of it? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.